Hello, and welcome back to DKing Combat Podcast, to the series of the book The Mirror. Let's stay with that question for a little longer. Who are you? Because if we are honest, most of us have never really answered it. We have only described ourselves. I'm a businessman, I'm a father, I'm a coach, I'm an engineer, I'm successful, I'm broke, I'm confident. I'm anxious. But notice something. Every single one of those sentences can change if something can disappear. Can it really be you? Think about your life for a second. How many versions of yourself have already existed? The child who couldn't wait to grow up is gone. The teenager who thought they knew everything is gone. The 20-year-old with all the dreams is gone too. Even your body has replaced almost every cell since then. Your opinions changed, your friendships changed, your goals changed, your fears changed, everything changed. Yet, something never did. Something has quietly watched every chapter. The same awareness that watched you cry as a child is watching you listen to this right now. It has no age, no passport, no salary, no title. It's simply aware. The author spends a lot of time inviting the reader to notice this quiet awareness beneath thoughts and emotions. He distinguished between the changing patterns of the nafs and the deeper awareness associated with the ruh or soul, encouraging readers to experience that difference directly rather than only understand it intellectually. When I read those pages, I did not just think about religion. I thought about combat because martial arts teaches exactly the same lesson, just through the body. Imagine, it's your first day sparring. Someone throws a punch. Your whole body panics. Your breathing disappears. Your shoulders tense. Your mind screams, don't get hit. You're completely consumed by fear. But then, years later, the same punch comes, you see it, you breathe, you move, you counter. What changed? The punch? No, the awareness behind the reaction. The experienced fighter still feels adrenaline, still feels pressure, but here he no longer becomes it. He witnesses it, and that's completely different way of living. Maybe that's true outside the gym too. Maybe confidence is not the absence of fear. Maybe peace is not the absence of problems. Maybe emotional strength is not never getting angry. Maybe it's recognizing that emotions are visitors, not permanent residents. Think about the weather. One day it's sunny, the next day it's raining. Sometimes there's thunder, sometimes the sky is perfectly clear. But has anyone ever looked at the sky and said, huh, the sky is broken because there are clouds today? Of course not, nobody does that. Because we understand clouds are temporary, the sky remains. The author returned to this image repeatedly. Thoughts, emotions, anxiety, grief, even joy, they move through us like weather. The deeper awareness beneath them is compared to the sky itself, remaining present while conditions constantly change. When I first read that, I stopped because How often do we introduce ourselves by our weather? I'm depressed. I'm anxious. I'm a failure. I'm broken. What if those are not identities? What if they are storms? Storms deserve compassion. Storms deserve sport. Storms sometimes require professional help, but storms also pass. And if they pass, they cannot be the whole of you, who you are. Let me tell you something I have noticed after coaching people for over 20 years. The strongest athletes I have ever met are not the ones who never feel fear. They are the ones who stop arguing with it. The weakest athletes are not always physically weak. Sometimes they are trapped inside their own thoughts. Every session begins before the warm up. It begins with the conversation happening inside someone's head. I can't. This is too heavy. I'm too old. I'm not talented. I'm behind. What's fascinating is before the body gives up, the mind usually has already quit. Now, let me be clear. This is not about pretending everything is positive. It's not about forcing yourself to smile. It's not about ignoring pain. Real growth never starts with denial. It starts with honesty. You can't heal a wound you refuse to acknowledge. But there's difference between saying I feel anxious and I am anxiety. One describes an experience, the other creates an identity. One of the reflections that struck me in the book is how easily we mistake recurring mental patterns for our true selves. The author argues that many of these patterns are inherited or conditioned rather than expressions of our deepest identity, and that recognizing them is the beginning of change. That made me think, how much of what we call personality did we actually choose? Have you ever thought of it? Did you choose your first language? No. Did you choose your parents? Answer is again no. Did you choose your culture? Same answer. No. Did you choose the first beliefs you observed as a child? And the answer is again no. So before you could even question the world was already teaching you how to see it. Some lessons were beautiful, some were painful, some were true, some were not, and yet many of us carry those early messages into adulthood as if they were absolute reality. Maybe someone once told you, you'll never succeed. Maybe someone laughed at your dream. Maybe someone made you believe love had to be earned. Maybe someone made you feel that failure defined your worth. Years pass. The person who spoke those words has forgotten them, but you have repeated them to yourself for decades. So here's a difficult question. When you hear that voice saying you are not enough, whose voice is it? Really? Is it yours? Have you ever tried to think of it? Is that voice is yours? Or is it an echo that's been living rent free inside your mind? Because maybe before changing your future, there is something else you need to do. Not build a new identity, not chase another title, not collect another achievement. Maybe you need to quietly remove the costume until all that's left is the person Allah created before the world told you who you were. I'll see you in the next episode. Make sure you ponder and figure out who you really are.